This is Amy Capteen, Ryan Stratton Online University, and this is my Persuasive Speech. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. I'd like to talk to you today about pit bulls, specifically the American Pit Bull Terrier. A pit bull is any of several breeds of dog in the Malacca breed group. The American Pit Bull Terrier commonly is in the hot seat after news stories about vicious attacks on other animals and humans. Physically, the American Pit Bull Terrier is built for performance. The pit is a medium-sized, very muscular, short-coated breed. The head is brick-like. The jaws are strong and wide, and the ears may be cropped or not. The body is typically very strong, with a deep chest, powerful, proportionate hind end, and solid legs. The pit bull's temperament has some negative aspects that we all heard about, as well as some positive ones. The negative aspects are first and foremost the golden rule for all pit bull owners is that they have to constantly be aware of what their dog is feeling, and they never trust your pit bull not to fight. The nature of the dog makes it aggressive towards other animals because that's how they've been bred for centuries. Pit bull owners have to take extra vigilance 24/7, and they need to know when your dog may become aggressive, and you need to have control over your dog at all times. On a positive note, pit bulls are incredibly funny, loyal, loving dogs. They love children. They withstand the rough play from children. Usually not good for protecting property, but they would die to protect somebody that they love. Some statistics about American Pit Bull Terriers. According to the Center for Disease Control, from 2010 to 2011, there were 33 fatalities from dog attacks in the United States. Pit bulls led these attacks, accounting for 67%, or 22 out of the 33 attacks. Although pit bulls only make up 5% of the total dog population, they were responsible for a high amount of fatalities. Denver, Miami, and Cincinnati have already banned pit bulls due to the number of dog attacks involving the breed. There were 127 attacks recorded. 57% of the attacks occurred off property. Numerous people were injured, 67% of who were injured severely. Of those, 10% entailed severed body parts. The American Veterinary Medical Association points out that pit bulls weren't always the terrible breed that they sometimes are made out to be today. According to the Humane Society of the United States, in the past, German Shepherds have given way to Dobermans, which gave way to the Rottweiler, which now has given way to the pit bull. 20 years ago, German Shepherds were very aggressive and were used for attack dogs because that's what they were bred for. Today, they're much more docile and commonly seen in family living situations. There are certain myths associated with pit bulls, one of which is that they have a locking jaw. You hear stories of a pit bull jaw locking on something, and even after death, the jaw remains locked. This isn't true. They do have a very strong bite, and a lot of power in their jaw, but their jaws do not lock. They have normal musculature and bone structure just like other dogs. Another common myth is that they don't feel pain. Pit bulls have a regular nervous system just like other dogs. They do feel pain, but they're very stubborn, so sometimes they will work through the pain. There's also a myth about the pit bull's skull, that sometimes the brain might swell, causing the animal to go insane and attack. This is also a myth. This is not true. Some facts about pit bulls. Despite what some people believe, pit bulls actually make great pets for families. In tests done by the American Temperament Test Society, pit bulls are generally less aggressive when faced with a confrontational situation that produce negative reactions in many other stereotypically friendly dogs, such as poodles or beagles. Sometimes you hear stories from people that say pit bulls are more likely to attack their owners. This is simply not the case. Pit bulls, like any other dog, do not exhibit aggressive behavior without reason or provocation. If a dog reacts aggressively, it is usually the result of disease, improper handling, lack of socialization or training, or simply misreading the dog's behavior. Early in the 20th century, pit bulls were actually the #1 family dog. While many pit bulls are trained to be animal aggressive, this doesn't mean that they're human aggressive. These behaviors are completely separate and can be adjusted through proper socialization and training. My point in all of this today, are pit bulls for me? No, they're not. I I do believe that certain people still always want to have pit bulls a part of their family. There are some very important points to remember. If you take away any one thing with you today, please remember this. The most important thing you can do if you're going to own a pit bull is responsible ownership. You have to be hyper-vigilant with pit bulls around other dogs and unfamiliar people. You have to socialize your dog young and frequently. Dogs have to be used to other dogs and get used to people as well. You have to train your dog professionally and early on. Dogs right from puppy should be trained. You have to make sure your dog is secure at all times. Most of the attacks that take place happen because people don't secure their dogs. The worst thing you could do as a pit bull owner is to be uninformed. This would be extremely detrimental to you, to the dog, and to society in general. If you're going to own a pit bull, please educate yourself. Thank you.